Hey guys, welcome back on the channel. Today we're gonna take a look at Sushiswap. We're gonna explore Sushiswap, which is one of the OG decentralized exchanges that they were in peak of the DeFi markets in the last bull run. If you look here at the information for Sushiswap back on DeFi Llama, we can see that this was the last bull run peak, late 2021, early 2022. So they had a major TVL back then, but even in this current bull run, they don't seem to pick up any sort of increase in the TVL, which doesn't mean that they are not profitable for liquidity providers. They can be, and although they're not a top 10 or even top 20 when it comes to revenue, they have quite a few things going on for them, and that's what I'm going to share with you. So maybe you want to use Sushiswap as a user to cross-chain your assets or even DCA crypto. This is actually probably the most versatile decentralized exchange when it comes to DCA because it supports a ton of blockchains. If you go back here on DeFi Llama, so this is all the DEXs by TVL rankings, but what I want to show you is that, for example, Uniswap, which is the titan of DEXs in the DeFi world, they have 28 chains on which they are deployed, right? And Sushiswap, it's on 37. So I don't think there's another decentralized exchange that handles so many blockchains as Sushiswap does. And actually Sushiswap, they came up in the DeFi scene as a fork of Uniswap. Back then there were no concentrated liquidity pools, so they forked the Uniswap v2, and now they forked the Uniswap v3 as well. So if you want to provide liquidity, you see there's a Sushiswap v3 version, concentrated liquidity. This is where it all goes. And if you look at the metrics, the volume to TVL ratio for the past 24 hours, it's not optimal. You always want to see the volume to be higher than the TVL, the higher the better, but it's very close to a 1-to-1 ratio at least overall. Of course, you'll find better and worse performing liquidity pools, but as you can see here, it's a fork from Uniswap v3. So all the pros and cons obviously that Uniswap has, Sushiswap also has. The thing is that they have a much different UI. I think it's quite effective for especially new users. They have a really clean UI. All the functions that get to be accessed very easily. You can trade by swapping or buying crypto. So you can also on-ramp with fiat, although the cheapest way for you to on-ramp, if you are wondering, it's always going to be, at least as of now, to the moment I'm recording the video, and from my experience in the past years in the crypto scene, it's always going to be through centralized exchanges. That's going to have the lowest amount of fees to on-ramp, buy crypto, all of that, okay? But in any case, Sushiswap has tremendous amount of features. What I like the most is the DCA option because they are deployed on 37 blockchains, right? And you can practically DCA on all of them. I haven't tried it. I have tried in most of the Ethereum layer 2s, and yeah, it works like a breeze on those. But you can also have, for example, if you are a Bitcoiner, you might be wanting to use Sushiswap because they are supporting some Bitcoin layer 2s like Core Blockchain, Rootstock. These are Bitcoin layer 2s that were created to be more friendly when it comes to the Ethereum ecosystem. They support the Ethereum EVM coding. So these blockchains came up as a solution to sort the gap between Ethereum and Bitcoin, because Ethereum is where all the DeFi action started and is operating, and Bitcoin not as much. So when it comes to that, of course, Bitcoiners also have interest in using the DeFi potentialities of blockchain technology. So these layer 2s came up as a solution for that problem, okay? And in any case, they also have the cross-chain service. So this might come also very in hand if you want to just bridge funds from the Bitcoin ecosystem, these couple of layer 2s, to Ethereum or others, because they also support BNB Smart Chain, which is a major blockchain, Avalanche, all of that, right? And as with other decentralized exchanges, you can also be a liquidity provider. If you come here on Explore, you can find the best performing pools. For any of these blockchains, you can even see that they adopted Sonic, which is the new version of Phantom. It's a rebranding that Phantom did. Phantom was also a widely successful blockchain, but they kind of died out since the last bull run. So now they have revamped and rebranded to Sonic. But anyways, if you were looking for the highest amount of TVL, of course, Sushiswap has it on Ethereum, $141 million in TVL. All the others will shy by comparison. Also, one of the things that I want to share with you is the smart pool option. For example, let's take the example of Ethereum, since they are so present on the Ethereum ecosystem. Of course, they will shy in comparison when it comes to TVL, to metrics, to Uniswap. Uniswap dominates the Ethereum landscape. Uniswap will always be a top 2, top 3 protocol when it comes to DEXs. When it comes to volume, probably a top 5. It's going to be very often you can find Uniswap as one of those. So Uniswap is going to be a money printer, but it doesn't mean you cannot find really great opportunities with Sushiswap. For example, on Base, I do find some really great opportunities on Base here. Let's sort this out by APR. Usually I find the Ethereum paired with a stable coin like USDC or even DAI very well positioned. So for example, you can see here wrapped Ethereum paired with USDC. This one is being incentivized even with their native token Sushi. They have the farming icon here, which means that farmer rewards are available. And if you want to farm Sushi, their native token, you can do it in all the pools that have that farmer icon. And even here on the right side, you can see the Sushi icon is displayed just to give you that idea. Anyways, triple digits APR on Ethereum paired with USDC. This is a great pool to have in mind if you are on Base. Solid TVL, very close to 4 million. Volume for the past 24 hours. You can see this one is printing. Like I said before, here on DeFi Llama, we can have like the overall perspective, 24 hours to TVL ratio to the total TVL deployed in all of the liquidity pools on Sushiswap v3. But in here, I mean, 3.8, this is around 5x volume to TVL ratio. And this is for the past 24 hours. You can even see that it had a decrease of 31%. Also, we see the decrease in the TVL of 29%. So likely there was a huge chunk of liquidity. Almost a third of it was withdrawn from this liquidity pool. And that's why we see these big numbers. And also probably that's why we see such a huge amount of volume for the past day. This other column here shows us the volume for the week. So 400% increase in volume for the past week, over 100 millions. Really great week for everyone who is providing liquidity to this pool on Base. They also do have good performance when it comes to the Polygon blockchain. Overall, if you go to Ethereum layer 2s and even Ethereum, you will find great performing liquidity pools with the Sushiswap. And if you're wondering how to do that, I've explained it countless times here on the channel, but in case you're new, briefly put, you even can sort this out by volume for the past 24 hours, but I rather to do it for the past week. I rather to have long time metrics because I'm a liquidity provider for the long run, right? So this one has a stable coin pair. The TVL is quite small for what I would consider to be more safe-ish, right? But still, 50k TVL. If you want to provide liquidity on this pool, double digits APR on a stablecoin assets pool with no impermanent loss virtually. I mean, this pool is doing quite well. And there's also going to be smart pools. When you see this light bulb icon here, they are for smart pools. So that's actually a sort of filter that you can apply. Farms only gives you all the pools that you can farm Sushiswap on, right? The ones that the protocol is incentivizing users to deploy liquidity on. So here on Polygon, they have these 3 different pools. Smart pools are the automated liquidity pools. So if you want to go with automated liquidity in a way that you don't have to do anything, actually they don't have none here. Let's turn off farms. Okay, so I had to turn farms off because in this case it was just trying to find within all of these farming pools the ones that have also automated strategies done by the Sushiswap team themselves. These will be available on plenty of blockchains, so you can even sort it out then by APR, see which ones are performing the best. I wouldn't advise you to use these pools if you are a complete beginner. I would tell you to get comfortable with all the terminology around liquidity pools, ranges, understand all of that back and forth, because that will allow you also to understand what happens with automated strategies that not only Sushiswap but other protocols also have. But that's actually something also that makes Sushiswap stand out above most of the DEXs out there. Like for example, on PancakeSwap you do also have automated liquidity. On Uniswap I don't think you do, although there's other third-party protocols that can automate it, like for example METRIX Finance, a yield aggregator, Yearn, Finance, Steer. There's plenty of those protocols operating on Ethereum even that you can find to have these automated strategies. Gamma also. Gamma is the one I covered here on the channel. It's also a very popular one. But I wouldn't advise you as a beginner to use these ones because they can be fairly aggressive and in high volatile market conditions, meaning when there's a lot of volume and the price is all over the place, it's not chopping sideways, you can end up losing money due to impermanent loss because these strategies will be aggressive. So if the price is all over the place, up and down, and there's a huge amount of volume, likely you'll lock in a ton of impermanent loss. So for complete beginners, I would tell you to stay away from it unless, so for example, for this liquidity pool, let's say you want to provide liquidity to it and use the function of the smart contracts to automate the whole thing. You need to see how correlated the assets are. If they are fairly strong correlated, like for the year metric or the month metric, they have a correlation matrix score on DeFi Llama of 1, and we'll check it out in a second on DeFi Llama. But if they have a correlation of 1, yeah, or very close to that, it will be a good performing pool. So yeah, you can definitely take a test run into it. This is not financial advice. I would say if you're completely new to the game, start with very small amounts of money, like 5% of the capital you plan to allocate. Play with it, learn, and only when you feel comfortable and you understand how to do everything, then yeah, you can then allocate more capital because you already understand at least the very basics, right? So let's go on DeFi Llama and see that correlation matrix. So we were looking at the pair of Ethereum and Sushi. I introduced both those tokens here on the list, and you can see for the past year, really great score when it comes to correlation. So it wouldn't theoretically be a bad performing pair that you could take advantage of the smart contract to always keep your range generating you fees, right? Because that's the whole point of providing liquidity. For the past month, the score is even better. For the past 7 days, really high up there. So overall, this would be a good example of a pool that theoretically you can take advantage of the smart pool because they are both very strongly correlated pairs, right? So let's take a look at Arbitrum since we're at it, because Arbitrum is a strongly performing blockchain when it comes to volume. For the past month, you see over $650 million, although the TVL is only 26 million overall. On blue, we have the V2, on purple, the V3, and the money is on the V3. It's much more capital efficient. It's where we can find all of these concentrated liquidity pools. If you want to provide liquidity on the V2, just don't expect to have the same amount of rewards, okay? So again, we try to find the best performing pools. We sort things out by APR. This is probably a meme coin pool and the TVL is 0, so I would stay away from this. It's sort of messed up, so don't pay attention to that. Let's sort things out by all the smart pools here. Again, we have Ethereum with Sushi, so this is performing quite well actually on Polygon, on Arbitrum. It has a good amount of volume for the TVL, so it's doing well. Triple digits APR. It's not being incentivized though by Sushi, and I would expect it to be, but in any case, you already earn Sushi due to the fees being generated by the pair, right? You earn both assets within the liquidity pair you are providing liquidity to. If you want something that generates you Sushi with Ethereum paired with USDC, this is a great one. This is a staple in any Ethereum or Ethereum layer 2 blockchain. This will be a staple for your liquidity providing portfolio, in my opinion. And that's why you see it also incentivized here with Sushi, because it's crucial for these blockchains. For example, on Arbitrum, although they are an Ethereum layer 2, they have the ARB token. Gas fees are paid with Ethereum, right? So this is always going to be a very heavily used. You can see it here even in the metrics. 4x volume to TVL ratio. So really good one. Incentives in Sushi, better even. And the cool thing also about Sushiswap is that you can use Sushi, stake it here in the Sushi bar. You see there's a stake bar. You can go on the Sushi bar, you can stake those Sushi rewards that you are earning on the pools, and that will make you earn X Sushi. You stake 1 Sushi, you get 0.67 X Sushi in return. And the whole point of this is that for every swap on Sushi, a portion of the swap fee is locked into the liquidity pool awaiting to be served to X Sushi holders. The APY on Ethereum for the past month is at 10%. So this is where you start to be more involved with the protocol. And if you enjoy Sushiswap, this is a way you can also use to be more of a high tier. I like to call it a VIP user of the platform, because now you are holding and staking the native tokens of the platform in order to earn a percentage of the platform's fees. You can get more information here about how the token is doing on CoinGecko. Like we saw with the TVL that took a huge dip from the last bull run and didn't really pick up all that much. On the other hand, we can see that the native token actually it's seeing a little spike. It went over from 80 cents of a dollar to $2.50 not long ago in last December, and now it's over a dollar. So people are taking profits, and if you are holding the Sushi token, being the native token, you see that it's a governance token, enables community governance over the Sushi ecosystem. So you can use your tokens to vote for the platform proposals to further ecosystem initiatives. That's why I advocate so much for being liquidity provider and supporting decentralized exchanges, guys. I think this is the future of finance. The whole point of the channel is help you get onboarded with crypto, and I believe the future of crypto goes very much through decentralized exchanges. So you can farm Sushi like we just saw by participating in the yield farming program. When you deploy liquidity to the pools that have Sushi farms, you can farm that token, of course. You don't necessarily need to buy it. And the Sushi token may also be staked across various platforms such as Sushi's very own Sushi Bar. That's what we just saw, or can be used as collateral on platforms such as Sushi's Yearn ecosystem partner, Aave, which is a major DeFi protocol as well. Now, this probably will not see the price that it had back in 2021, over $20. This was insane on the last bull run. But if it would hit $5, I think that would be awesome. It's a token that has utility. It allows you to be a partner for the platform, and the platform, of course, will pay you a percentage of its fees if you are holding X Sushi tokens. But by the way, this is something which is only accessible on the Ethereum blockchain, all right? You can see here on the information icon, it is only available on Ethereum mainnet. Okay, guys, so this was a fairly brief overlook at Sushiswap. I think it's a forgotten exchange, but it's one of the best still in the game. Like we just saw, if we go on DeFi Llama on the DEXs by TVL, you will not see Sushiswap ranking on the very top, but they're still top 20 right now. When it comes to fees, actually, not TVL. If we go to TVL and sort it out, it's really also a top 15 at least. And when it comes to revenue, actually they're going down in the ranks. They're around ranked in the 30th spot, something like that. But still, it's a very reliable DEX. They have interesting amounts of volume if you know how to pick your pools, and all the functionalities that they have that we just saw before. Not only the on-ramping, the DCA, the cross-chain swapping, everything is done extra smoothly here on Sushiswap. I don't have any reasons of complaint when it comes to using them. Like we said in the beginning, they are a fork of Uniswap, so tremendously reliable DEX. Do not overlook it. If you're looking also for a quick and easy way to cross-chain swap stuff from the Ethereum or other blockchains to the Bitcoin ecosystem, they support Core and Rootstock, among with many others. But in any case, guys, do not miss out on Sushiswap. I will make a video more in depth to show you how to use as a complete beginner, of course, going into more detail into all of this stuff. But take a look at it. Sushiswap. You might be surprised if you have a specific favorite or a couple of one's favorite blockchains as Ethereum layer 2s. Highly likely you'll find great performing pools that will allow you to put your funds to work by providing liquidity, okay? Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Like and subscribe for more of this type of content. Thank you for watching. Take care. I'll see you on the next one.